Hello everyone, welcome to a short video tutorial on how to properly set up Microsoft Teams to suit your needs and tailor the user experience to your workflow. The settings menu is located inside the user control panel of Microsoft Teams, which you can find by clicking on your profile picture up here and then clicking the settings button down below. Here you can find several different categories such as general settings, privacy settings, notifications, devices, permissions and call related settings where you can set up Teams to your likings. Alright, general settings. Here you can change your theme and layout. If you don't like the default theme, you can change to dark or high contrast mode. I personally prefer the dark one, but for the sake of this tutorial and visibility, I'm going to keep the default one. You can also choose to change the layout to grid or list. I personally prefer to keep the list one. You can see in the background how that looks like. This is the list one. And you can also change application related settings, such as auto starting Teams whenever Windows boots up and opening the application in the background when you choose to do so. There are more settings down here. I won't go over them in detail. It usually does what it reads though. If you want to change your language settings, you can do so down here. You can change app language and the keyword language. If you happen to be German like me, you could choose German down below. I won't do this for the sake of this tutorial. Next, let's talk about privacy settings. Here you can manage from whom you want to receive notifications while being in DND by clicking the Manage Priority Access button. And here you have a priority list. My friend Stefan is on here already. I will remove him for the sake of this tutorial and add him back on here by searching his name in this search window and clicking his name. And now he's back on the list. Now I will receive notifications from him, even if I'm in D&D. Alright, down here we have block contacts. If you happen to block someone and you want them off the block list, you can do so by clicking this Edit Blocked Contacts button and removing them. I don't have anyone blocked, so I can't show you. You can also choose to block calls with no caller ID by ticking this box. If you want read receipts on, you can toggle them here. And if you want to participate in surveys from Microsoft Teams, then you can choose to do so down here. In my case, I will keep it off. The third tab allows you to manage notifications. As you can see, under email, you can choose the frequency you receive a notification email for activities you missed out on. For example, ASAP, once every hour, or daily. You can also change appearance and sound. Whether or not you want to see a message preview, you can toggle that here, or play a sound for notifications, you can toggle that on or off. Under Teams and Channels, you can decide if you want to get notifications for all activities, mention and replies, or custom settings tailored to your needs. In this case, I have some custom tailored settings. You can change banner and feed or only show in feed for each and every case, like mentions, team mentions, replies to conversations I started or I replied to, likes and reactions, and trending. And finally, you can change if you want to display notifications in your feed, banner, or both in chat, meetings, people, or for other things such as tips and prompts from Microsoft Teams. For example, I will show you here. These are my chat settings. You can display your mentions in the banner and the feed, or only show them in the feed. And you can do so for each and every of those categories. Over at devices, we can find several settings on which devices Team can use and how it will use them. You can set up your audio devices, such as speakers and your microphone. For example, speakers over here and here the microphone. And you can also make a test call. I won't do that in the tutorial because it takes a little bit of time. If you happen to have a lot of background noise, you can also set up noise suppression, which is on auto by default, which will help a lot by lowering said background noises. You can also set up a second ringer. For example, if you happen to work on your laptop, you can choose to set up a secondary ringer such as your loudspeakers, so you can hear a call without you being on your PC. So whatever, if you happen to sit in your kitchen and you have your PC in your living room, you can hear a ring going off on your speakers. The last setting allows you to choose your camera that you would like to use in a call, and it shows a preview down here for what others can see. Inside the Permissions tab, you can find settings that allow you to set up what data the Teams application can use, such as location data or external links. It is important that you give Teams the permission to use your media devices, otherwise your camera, microphone and speakers will not work. In my case, I don't want Teams to use my location, so I have that turned off. Finally, the Calls tab enables you to customize how Teams will handle your calls in the future. You can set up call answering rules, such as forwarding your calls by clicking this checkbox, or how Teams should handle unanswered calls, for example by forwarding them to the voicemail, and when exactly that should happen. Teams allows you to configure your very own voicemail by clicking this button over here. Here you can record your greeting, decide on some call answering rules, a greeting language, some text-to-speech you can set up over here, and you can decide on out-of-office greeting times. You will also be able to choose a custom ringtone down here. And finally, we have some accessibility settings for people with impaired hearing. Teams allows you to set up text to communicate over phone line if you have the proper device, that is. I hope I was able to show you how to properly set up Teams and enabled you to customize Teams to your likings, so working with the application will be hassle-free. With that being said, I wish you a great day and see you next time.